All right, guys. Good morning. So excited for you guys to hear from this amazing young man. Tanner Vescio has been a light in our agency, and I know, no doubt, future AO. He came to conference last year, brand new. He was kind of deer in headlights like the rest of us went to conference for our first time, and just plugged in, dug in, and is doing the work. Um, so I just want you guys to know that Tanner is amazing. Follow him on Instagram because his wife puts up awesome content for him and helps him amazingly. So, Tanner, the floor is yours, buddy.
What's up, guys? Thanks for that intro, Joe. Man, I'm just so thankful to have a relationship with you and Jill and Jim. Oh, man, I'm excited for today. Guys, I might get a little vulnerable here. I know we love that when we get a little vulnerable here, so I hope you guys are okay with that. Um, but yeah, so my amazing wife Brooke, she has a huge part in this business for me, and I would not be here without her. And being a deer in the headlights, that is exactly what I was at conference. I had no idea what was going on. I got my license a month earlier, and I hadn't sold a policy yet. So it really opened up my eyes there. I'm going to take it back a little bit. Also, first and foremost, like guys, my faith is the number one thing in my life. I wouldn't be here without my faith in God, and so I had the opportunity to get baptized earlier this year, and man, that was just an incredible experience, and so that has been with me along the way as well. But guys, I'm from Minnesota. I'm a huge hockey fan, right? I played hockey my whole life. I'm kind of a knucklehead. I played hockey in high school. Fortunate enough to receive a Division 1 scholarship and play 4 years in college. Played a little bit of pro. Ended up having two concussions at the end of my pro season, and at that point, I was really looking for what's next. And my wife and I, we were in our first year of marriage. We had a little bit of knowledge about life insurance, and basically. Brooke, my wife, her dad, he works in corporate life insurance sales. Like he sells like benefits packages for corporations. And so he'll be the first one to tell you that you need a private policy outside of work, right? We hear that all the time, right? I have my work policy, and he'll be the first one to tell anyone that you need another policy outside of that. So he was like on us about getting a policy. And Symmetry just kind of fell in our lap, guys. My wife and I took out our first policies from a Symmetry agent. And at that point, we got our policies in place. And I was like looking for what's next, like what should I do? My wife was like, when I was going through my application, my wife was in the background, like, ask them how they got into it. I was like, no, I don't want to do this. So eventually I asked them. They sent me the corporate overview, and when I watched that, I was hooked like instantly. Like it checked my big three boxes. I wanted to be a part of a team and be a part of an amazing culture. I wanted to make an impact with what I was doing next in my life, and what better way to make an impact than protect families. And also, I wanted to be able to find something where I could have that lifestyle and financial freedom. So, got licensed, went to conference, deer in the headlights. But guys, this is just a conference plug. Get there, bring your spouse. It'll change your life. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. We've been hearing that a lot lately. So I worked this business for 8 months part-time outside of my full-time job, and it was great. Like I was profitable. I didn't have the correct lead spend early on. I was spending like $50 a week on CIGs, and I was like, I think this is what I should be doing, but I did not have that commitment to spend that much on leads, and so. Ignite rolled around, and our income just kept going up. Like I was doing well, and it kind of plateaued a little bit. And at that point, I was like, for the vision that I have for my agency and where I want it to go, I can't stay at my job. right? I had to kind of take that leap and leave. And so, middle of April, that's when I went full time. And so, my first full month of being full time was last month, May, and it was great. Like I submitted 12.9 thousand in APV, and it was great. Like I had a great support system. But after looking at the total income at the end of the month after a 5 week turn-in with a 5 week lead spend and issued business, I brought in $1,000 at the end of the month. And that's when I was like, oh crap, like Jim knows what I'm talking about. It was it kind of like weighed on me there. And I was like, man, like this isn't enough for like this month. Like what are we doing here? And when you don't have that background income coming in from your other job, it's like this was weighing on me big time. And I was having some conversations with Brooke, and it's rolled right into this June, right? So, um, that weight has kind of led into my dials, led into my posture and my appointments, and it's been a slow start to June. I started to have some real conversations, and I just kind of want to take you guys through what I've learned during this time. And I just want y'all to if you've ever had this like in your business, I just want you to throw like a three in the chat. I've always wanted to say that. But if you guys have ever felt like crippling self-doubt while you've been here, like just throw that in there for me. Yeah, and that's what I was feeling, guys. Like, I just kind of want to take you through a couple things that I've learned through this period. Like these past 2 weeks have been the hardest 2 weeks that I've been here in Symmetry. And kind of the first thing I've learned is like I needed to really reflect on my numbers, right? I started tracking my numbers in January, and my contact to appointment sat rate was 21%. My sit rate was 58%, close rate 44, issue rate 83. So like that big number that sticks out is that first one for me, right? Out of all the people that I was making contacts with, I was booking 21% of those for appointments. So it's like I need to get better somewhere there. So that's kind of like the skill set that I needed to work on. But this next one is kind of the big one for me. And so that was thinking that I could handle all this on my own. I was trying to handle this with Brooke. And man, she's been a rock for me. Um, she's kind of my sounding board here, and she's the first person I go to. If it's a hard day, she's there to lift me up. Guys, if you don't have that spousal support in this business, like, man, you can go out of business real quick. So you guys got to make sure that they have that same vision, and it's hard for them to have that vision if you're not, bringing in the income you're bringing in. So like you have to prove that to them at the same time. And so I know that Brooke believes, and she's on here. I think this is her first accountability call she's been on. You can kind of look for her if she's on here. But she's my rock, guys. I would not be here without her. And I just kind of want to take you through some people that I've been leaning on throughout this period. And this is my association, right? First person I want to talk about is my guy, Warren Butler, right? He's been my running buddy for a few months now. I talk to him multiple times a week, check-ins with him. We're kind of at a similar point in our businesses, and he fires me up. I'm kind of a little more mellow, like a little more monotone. So like he like amps me up throughout the day. We have a meeting like every Friday just to go over our numbers, and he has been a rock for me, and I'm so grateful for that friendship. We were able to meet at Ignite for the first time in person. So find that person for you. Like who is that person? Reach out to someone. Next, I reached out to Miss Anna Safavi, and I just needed a phone call with her, and we had a great conversation about becoming more tactical with my business. And if anyone has ever had a conversation with Anna, you're not going to leave that phone call in a bad mood, right? She is a light to this company, and I'm so thankful for her. Um, and then these last like four people, I've already touched on one, but like Jim, Joe, and Jill, they're like family to me now. I know I can go to them for everything, and I kind of stepped up last week. I thought I could handle this all on my own and be able to push through and work harder, but I gave Joe and Jill a phone call last week, and I just kind of broke down to them, and like I just said I don't know like what I'm doing, but like I can't keep up this rate, and they've just been there for me, and that's what I want to encourage everyone to do is just make sure you're reaching out for help, right? You can't go through this business without asking for help and leaning on your mentors and having running buddies. It's not meant to be that way. You know, I've heard it all the time. Joe says it like a lone ranger is a broke ranger, right? So if you don't ask for help, you're not going to be in business the next month. And so I'm just so thankful for those three people there, especially like you guys. You guys know what you've done for me, and I'm so grateful for that. And then lastly, my obviously I mentioned her first, but Brooke, guys, she is just as part of this business as I am. Like she is, if you've ever met her, you know how much of a light she is. She's my rock. She's more of the numbers gal. She keeps track of our numbers. She has her own business too, so it's really hard sometimes for her to focus on this. And man, this is like she's kind of like my main why, right? So I can provide for her and live a life with her, and live a life and build a life that we want. And so she just is an amazing part of this business, and you guys I know will get to meet her one day if you haven't yet. And so we're going to be at conference. Like I hope, you know, if you see her, like come say hi to us, and she's just going to bring a smile to your face. And so kind of lastly, what I wanted to touch on is just figure out like I wanted to ask everyone like figure out what your strongholds are. Right? The last thing that going through this struggle has taught me is that I really need to let go and ask for help and lean not on myself, and also lean more on my faith, because I've turned away during the hard times. You know, when I am going through hard times, I try and figure it out myself, work harder, work longer days, make more dials, but also just reflecting on what I need to do, and lean more on my faith as well. And so that's kind of what I wanted to ask you guys is just figure out what your strongholds are in this business. Because those strongholds, they can rob you of the upgrades that, you know, God has for you, or what, you know, if you aren't, you know, a Christian or a faith believer, of just what life has meant for you. Because we all came here for a bigger reason, right? Symmetry. We all caught that vision of what's possible here. And we have amazing leaders in this room and in the workroom every day. And so if you don't deal with those strongholds, guys, they're just going to control you, and you're going to keep spiraling around and around, kind of like what I was doing. Um, and so that's kind of what I wanted to challenge you. And I kind of wanted to connect it back to this. And, you know, we have more than enough here to have success. And so you know, only if you only have a rag and a rock, you're going to be able to figure out what that Goliath is in your business, and you're going to be able to take that down. And so that's kind of the main thing I wanted to touch on here, guys, is just lean on your support system, figure out what those strongholds are, and just attack them. Go out and figure out how to get over those, right? Because for some people, it may be a skill set. For some, it might just be asking for help. And for me, that's what it was. Like I want to figure out things on my own, but I needed to ask for help and reach out to Joe and Jill and Jim, and lean on my accountability partners. And so that's kind of like where I'm at in my business, and you know, picking it up and figuring out how to not have this be a hobby. I think I kind of came into full time with it being a hobby, and so now it's kind of figuring out how to actually be a business owner, leaning on your mentors and getting profitable. And so that's where I'm at right now with things, guys. And I hope, at least one person was able to take away a few things, and that's all I got for you today.
Dude, it's so good. It's so good to hear from you, Tanner. I think more than a few people got something out of this today. I hope you get a chance to just kind of scroll the comments and see the impact that you made in just a quick little introduction of yourself and the things you've learned. I want to highlight the importance of, guys, don't do this alone. And I know it's a little bit of preaching to the choir here because y'all are here, right? The ones I'm talking to here understand that importance because y'all are waking up at 6, 7, 8 in the morning to make sure you get here. So you get it. But even within this group, I get this question often about that running buddy thing. Tanner highlighted almost right out of the gate how important running with Warren Butler has been for him. They're sidelined to each other. They're not, they fall in the same hierarchy eventually, but they're sidelined. And very often I will get the question from people, hey, I want that. I want that running buddy. Where do I find that? How do I find that? I'm going to be honest with you guys. It's really hard to arrange that artificially. Coming to me and saying like, hey, can you find someone for me? I can't. I could set you up on a blind date, but that energy has to align and your businesses have to be in the same place. That's not a question you can really even ask your mentor to do. I'm going to give you like kind of the advice and how to do it, which I'm going to guess this is how Tanner and Warren found each other. Is you want to start running, go run. Don't sit at home, pick up the phone and call a dozen people to see who wants to go for a run with you. You want to run, go run. Go run a mile, go run 5 miles, go run 10 miles. Eventually, someone's going to start running with you because that looks fun. And then you're going to start running together and realizing, man, you're at the same pace. You're doing it. Get in the workroom. See who's at the workroom in the same hours with you. See who's asking the same questions as you. See who's submitting the same business as you. See who's on leaderboards at the same level as you. See who's showing up with the same grit as you. When you just do you at the level you want to do you, and you look over and you see the other people and you see those people that are doing them at pretty much the same level you're doing you, that's how you find your people, guys. That's how you find that. That's how you find your running buddies. It doesn't happen by going to your mentor and just saying, can you set me up on a blind date with someone? It's not going to work. I've tried to make that happen so many times. It never works. Just go run your race and see who's keeping pace with you. All right, breakout rooms are open. Find your AO in the breakout rooms. Those of